ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर् श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं हरिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासवि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु भिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजता दधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, chapter number 11, beginning from verse number 13. These are instructions of Jad Bharat to King Rahugana, and he is explaining about Kshetragya, or the conditioned living being, how he sees the various manifestations of the mind, or the vrittis of mind. So in the previous verse he explained that there are two types of Kshetragya, the living being, visual living being, and the Paramatma, Supreme Atma or Supreme Soul, who is immanent in everyone. And the first type, the living being, is of two types. One is conditioned and one is liberated. So he explained that one who is conditioned, he remains under the influence of the mind, and mind is like a covering, because whatever we see outside we see through the mind. Like you put on glasses on your eyes, so then whatever you see through the glasses, and if the glasses are colored, then everything appears colored to you. So in the same way we have the mind around the soul, and therefore whatever you see through the state of mind. and that means all our past experiences. So on the basis of that, we understand things. So it's not only that we are perceiving things, but we are perceiving them in a specific way according to our experience. So that's why the same object gives different types of feelings or emotions to different people. But one who is liberated, how does his mind work? What does he see? So that is described here. Because he says the one who is conditioned, he is trying to enjoy these vrittis. And one who is liberated, he just sees them without attachment. So it's like he's also using the mind, but his mind is clean. He does not have any desires for sense pleasures. So he can understand the objects as they are. So in this particular verse he speaks about the other Purusha, Kshetragya, Paramatma. Kshetragya Atma Purusha Purana Sakshat Swayam Jyotirajah Pareshah Narayano Bhagavan Vasudeva Swamaya Atmanya Vidhiyamana. So the other Kshetragya is called Atma. The word Atma is used both for the individual living being as well as for the supreme living being. So sometimes use the word Paramatma, sometimes Atma. So here the word Atma is for the supreme. When he is the Purusha, means he is the original person, who is the source of this world. And Purana means he is the oldest person. And Sakshat Swayam Jyotir is self-luminous, means he is not dependent on anyone else. So one of the basic characteristics of God or Supreme Lord is that he is completely independent. We are dependent on others. Even if you are a rich person, you have to depend on others. Because even for our bodily needs, we don't produce everything ourselves. If we need food, then we are not producing it ourselves, we depend on others. We have to buy so many things, our cloth, house, and so many other amenities in our life. So we are always dependent on others. If God is called Swayam Jyoti, he has his own light. He depends on external light. So that's why he is called Swarat or Swayam Jyoti, independent. And Ajaha means unborn. He was never born, and Paresha is the supreme controller of everything. He is called Narayana because he is the source of all the material elements. And he is Bhagavan because he has all the six opulences of knowledge, beauty, strength, wealth, renunciation, physical strength. And Vasudeva means he is existing everywhere. Swamaya Atmani Avdhiyamana. And he is situated in our own self. And he is the object of meditation. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti, he comments, Baddha jivasya vyavahara eva sadaiva avadhan vishayo yatha tatha mukta jivasya avadhan vishayaka iti apekshayama. So he is making a distinction between the previous verse and this verse, that the previous verse is talking about the Baddha Jiva, or the born conditioned living being, and what is his dealing. So he is absorbed in his mind, and senses. When one becomes liberated, what is the object of his meditation? That is being described here. So he meditates on the Supreme Lord. Kshetragya kshetrasya karthsagnena gyata paramatma. So this kshetragya, he knows all the bodies. As Krishna says, kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. So we know only about our individual body, and that also we don't know completely. But Lord is the knower of everyone. That's why he is called omniscient. So that is the meaning of kshetragya here. Atma means vyapaka, he is all pervading, he is everywhere. And Purano, Jagat Karan Bhuta. He is Purana, means he is the source of the universe. And Purushaha Purushakara. Purusha means person, it also means human being. So he translated that he is also having a form like human. That is the meaning of Purusha. That's how he is glossing this word. So God is not just some energy. Many people have this idea, what is God? Some energy. Energy, and he is also the person who controls the energy or who possesses the energy. So he is also a living being. He has personality, he has individuality. So that's why it's called Purusha. Purusha means person. And Swayam Jyoti Swaprakasha. He is self-luminous. So self-luminous, as I explained, means when you can illuminate others and also itself, like the sun. So sun gives light to everything, and that light is also illuminated. That is the meaning of Swayam Jyoti. Ajaha Maik Janmadi Sunya. And Aja, which means unborn, he does not have any material birth. His birth is divine, as Krishna said, Janma Karam Cha Me Divyam Evam Yovetti Tatvata. That my birth, my activities are divine. Krishna also took birth. He was also acting, but his birth is not like ours. He is not forced by law of karma to take birth. So that is, therefore he gives this meaning as not having birth by the law of Maya or under the control of Maya. Paresham Brahmadi Namapi Isha. Paresha. And he is Paresha, he is the master even of people like Brahma. Narayana Karnanam Shai. Narayana means one who is lying on the water of causal ocean, Mahavishnu. So there is spiritual world, there is material world, in between them there is a causal ocean. A really huge form of Mahavishnu in that. That was called Narayana. And Bhagavan means Sadashvarya Purna. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Asasya Gyan Vairagyasya Sharnam Bhavitendra. So these 6 things are called Bhava: controlling power, mystical power, fame, and wealth, knowledge, renunciation. So one who has these things in complete, he is called Bhagavan. And Vaikuntanath, so that means the Lord of Vaikuntha. And Vasudeva, Vasudeva Nandana Sri Mathurani. So he is listing all of them. Then there is Krishna, and then Krishna expands, he has his Vaikuntha, Vaikuntapati forms, and then he expands as Mahavishnu or Narayana, and then he expands as Super Soul and everyone else. So these are various expansions of Krishna. which are listed here. Sushtu amaya hetuna atmani avdhiyamana mukta jivena atmani manasi avdhana vishayikrena. So this is very interesting meaning he is giving by breaking this in. He says swamaya atmani avdhiyamana. He makes this swamaya and su amaya. That by beautiful amaya means not this maya but the internal maya or bhakti. So because of that he is meditated by liberated people in their mind. That's the meaning he gives. Swamaya Atmani Avdhiyamana. So this is what the difference, that those who are liberated people, they are meditating on God, and those who are materialistic people, they are meditating on the material objects. Both are using the same mind, but the object is different. So that's why Bharat Maharaj, he was absorbed in his own thoughts when the king was asking him to walk harmoniously with other people. He did not pay much attention to that because he was absorbed in his own thoughts. Yadva swamaya swarup shaktya kripya vasahita. Or the word swamaya avdhiyamana means by his swarup shakti. By that people meditate on him, or by his grace. Maya also, the one meaning of the word Maya means grace. Maya has many meanings. Maya means knowledge, Maya means grace, Maya means illusion, Maya means energy. So these are various meanings which can be used here. So now, how can one become free from this covering of Maya or covering of mind? This is what is being explained in the next 3 verses. Nayavadetam tanubhrin narendra vidhuya mayam vajnodayena vimukta sangojita shat sapatno vedatmatvam brahmati hatavat. He says that, my dear king, as long as a person does not give up this Maya or illusion by the rise of knowledge, and become detached from the 6 wives, then he remains here in the material, because he cannot know the self, Atma Tattva, in the Veda. So as long as we are thinking, illusion here is that I can be happy in this material body through material objects and materialistic activities. This is the illusion. This is called avidya. So to consider body which is temporary as eternal, that it will always exist, and then try to enjoy this. To consider this body as pure, and it is all impure. Because beneath the skin there is nothing pure in it. Everybody knows. And whatever comes out of the body is all impure. And it is full of holes.
Pores?
Holes.
No, the holes. Are you referring to pores?
Yes.
No, holes, okay.
Pores. And there is always something pouring out of them. So there are pores and holes also. And nothing worthy comes out of it. There are other animals also, like cow has, but she gives cow dung urine, it's useful. But human beings, nothing useful comes out. And yet we think that this body is very nice, very beautiful. So this is the illusion people live in. That it is impure, we think it is pure, it is temporary, we think it is permanent. And it is source of misery because it's always giving some problem. If you eat a little extra, then you have a problem. If you don't eat enough, you have a problem. And even if you eat the right amount, you eat the wrong thing, then you have a problem. So always some problem. Cannot sleep, then you have a problem. Oversleep problem. So, and we think this is the most wonderful body we have. So this is avidya, this is the Maya. So he says that Nayavadetam tanubhrit narendra vidhuya mayam. How one will get rid of it? Only by knowledge. So unless one gets this knowledge, as Krishna says, kshetra kshetra gayor jnanam, this is the jnana, this is the knowledge. Jnanam is adavanyatha, everything else is jnana. So then one will remain in the cycle of birth and death. We'll keep on taking birth and another birth. We have already done all these things so many times. We have forgotten. It's like we forget in this life. Every day we are eating, right? We don't remember what we ate. Every day we eat, we sleep, we wake up, then we do the same thing. So like that we have done other lifetimes also. There is nothing new that we do. We are just chewing the chewed, cuddling. But because we forget, so we think we are doing something new. That is the good facility God has given us, forgetfulness. If we were not forgetting, then we will be bored with life, because what is the same thing? So because of this forgetfulness, we think that something new is coming. We make new plans. It's nothing new. New inventions, they have all been done in the past, in the previous years, previous cycles. So we continue doing the same thing. This is the samsara chakra cycle. And then we keep on wandering. Bhranti hai tavat naveda atma. And vimukta sangha, so becoming free from the bad association, and jit sata sapatma. So sapatma literally means co-wives. It's also used like a word for enemy. Because co-wives don't like each other. So either we are living with 6 enemies. They will be described later on. Or we can say 5 cognitive senses in the mind. Or all this calm, krodh, lobh, moha, matsarya. These are all enemies. And we are just being troubled by them. So such a Bhagavan mukta jivena sulabha eva iti sadrishtantamaha yathai. So he says that this Bhagavan, I actually missed one verse. I went to the next verse, there was another one before. Let's read the commentary of the 15th one. एवं अविद्यावतीर्णानां भगवद अवधान लक्षणं ज्ञानं शाश्वतकम् इत्येव उक्तम् अविद्यापतितानां जीवानाम् अविद्यावतरणे तदेव साधनम् इति आह। So he says that those who have crossed over avidya or ignorance, then their knowledge about Bhagavan in the form of meditation is eternal. But the knowledge of ignorant people, that their knowledge cannot transcend, make them cross over. Those who are meditating on God, they can cross over by their knowledge of meditation. But those materialistic people who are also absorbed and meditating on materialistic object, they cannot get out of it. Why? We know Dayena Uttalakshan Jnanotpatya Vimukti Evan Mayam Udhuya Atmatattvam Navedata. Unless and until they will have spiritual knowledge, and by the power of spiritual knowledge they will give up their material association, and then they will realize their Atma Tattva, their own self. Then they will know the Supreme and become liberated. So the one verse was missed. He says, Yatha nila sthavar jangamanam atma swarupena nivishta ishet evam paro bhagavan vasudeva kshetragya atmedam anupravishtaha. So just like the wind, it enters movable and immovable objects by its own form. In the same way, Lord Vasudeva, he has entered everyone. Kshetragyam Atma Idam Anupravishta. So, through his self, so God actually says, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that he is Suhirda Sarvabhutanam, that he is the friend of everyone. And therefore he is with us all the time, like a real friend. So therefore he says Atma Kshetragya Kshetragyam Atmena Atmana Idam Anupravishta. That he personally has entered in us, or he is existing in us. So we are not paying any attention to him, but he is there. So God is there everywhere, including within us. But because we do not take any interest in him, so we don't see him. So when we will start seeing towards him, and we'll turn our gaze from materialism to God, then he will become available to us. So Jiva, our living being, is also called Tatastha Shakti of the Lord because it remains under the influence of external energy or internal energy. This is a very beautiful concept which Jiva Goswami brings out. That these are two separate types of energy of God, the external and internal. The external energy, when it influences us, then we only look externally or away from God. Although God is there, we don't see him because our consciousness, our awareness is always turned away, paramukha. And when we fall under the influence of internal energy, then our gaze turns towards God. Then we start seeing his presence in everything. So he is present in everything even now. And those whose minds are turned towards him or who are influenced by this internal potency, they can experience it in the same place. But others cannot. There is a story in Mahabharata that there is a king Uparichar Vasu, and he was doing a yajna. And his priest was Brihaspati, and He had three sons, Ekat, Gita and Trita, they were also there. And they did the yajna and Lord appeared. But only Uparichar Vasu, he appeared and he took the oblations personally. And the king was able to see him, but Brihaspati did not see. So one is seeing, another is not seeing, so then Brihaspati became very angry. He threw away the ladle and said, "What is this? Why I cannot see?" So then he was told that you cannot see because you are not qualified. Because he can be seen only with those who have devotion. Devotion is the internal potency or love. So just like love is the internal thing. So that love is bhakti, that is devotion. Only that has the power to reveal God. Otherwise he is not revealed. So he may be standing and one person is seeing and the other is not seeing. So that is the difference, how these two energies work. So the same scriptures one reads and one relishes in and one feels the presence of God in them, and another will read and he says, "What is this nonsense? This is all unbelievable things spoken here." And they will only find fault in it. Because they don't have the eyes to see. So just as we have an owl, so owl cannot see in the daytime, cannot open their eyes. So if you tell the owl that there is a sun, then he will not believe. Once there was an assembly of owls. They were having their conference internationally. So owls from all over the world came, big conference. And they were trying to understand what is the reality. So one crow also came there by mistake. And then they were all talking about night and darkness, because that's their life. And the crow said that, "What are you talking about? Actually there is a day and there is a beautiful sun." So he said, What sun are you talking about?" He said, "You have not seen?" He said, "What do you not see? It doesn't exist, how can you see?" So they started arguing. So crow was very surprised that these people don't know sun, and they were also surprised that what nonsense are they talking. So they argued, but the owl says, "Show us the sun." And he says, "Well, let the sun come and I will show you." But when the sun comes, their eyes are closed, they don't open. So they said, "We can see." And they said that we are thousands here and you are one fellow. You think we are all fools? And you are the only wise guy? So he says, just because you are thousand does not change the reality. Reality does not depend whether 1,000 people believe in it or not. Reality is reality. It is not somebody's projection of mind. Reality exists in spite of your knowledge or ignorance about it. So the crow was also trying to argue, so then these owls got angry and they killed him. He said, "You such nonsense, this little fellow." And we think that here so many great owls have come, president of different countries are here, and they don't know anything, and you are so wise and intelligent that you know more than us. So they attacked him. So that is what materialistic people are. They are more in number, and they are the one who are ruling. They are the one who are making law, they are the one who are writing books, they are the one who are making the educational institute and teaching others. And they teach only about something which is not related to man. There is no talk of God. It's amazing. It's like owls, there is no talk of sun in their assembly. So like that, there is no talk of God. All the God is the only thing which exists ultimately. There is nothing which exists without God. Just like the whole creation exists because of the sun. If the sun dies, then everything will come to an end. There will be no vegetation, no food, no rain. So the owls, they neglect the sun, they talk of so many other things. And they do big research in it. They write PhDs, theses, books, and seminars, and institutes teaching all their siddhantas, but not a word about God. So when that remains, then people are bound. That's why it says, Nayavadetam tanu brindanendra vidhuya mayam. As long as one will not have knowledge of this personality, and one remains in ignorance and one remains bound, continues to suffer in the material world, like the owls. So owl is a symbol of ignorance. Some people take it as a symbol of wisdom. Isn't it? But in India, owl is considered as a symbol of ignorance. A word called ullu. Owl in Hindi is called ullu. So when you want to abuse somebody, you call him you are an ullu. So ullu means ignorant. No, ullu is not ulla. So it's a very common abuse here. Ullu ka patta. You may hear it, right? Probably you have heard this ullu ka patta.
We have them on our farm somewhere.
So as long as one has this ignorance, then one remains in the material world and one cannot see. So Lord is everywhere. He says like air, it's into everything. And here he says yatha nila sthāvar jangama nama atma sarupena nivishta. So like that, he is present in everything. Because without him nothing can exist. So he is inside and outside both. That's why it's called all-pervading. Not only inside, he is also outside. And he is a person. So he exists. Usually when somebody is a person, he cannot be in all places. As a person, he can be only in one place. But he is everywhere. Like these electrons are everywhere. So, yatha anilah sthavar jangamana mantareti sesa atmasvarupena nivishta pravishta sanisati. So, this is how he controls everything. By entering into everything, and he controls everything. So his control is not like us. Human beings also control, but you cannot control like God. Even if you have somebody under your control, you cannot control the mind of that person or the thoughts of that person. And God is actually inside, he can also control our thoughts. So he is called therefore Ishvara, the supreme controller or Paresha. And even the big people like Brahma and Shiva, they are under his control. Nobody is independent of him. So, but although we are controlled by him, we think we are independent. This is the illusion. We are totally under the control of our body. We are inside the body, we cannot walk out of the body. If you want that, let me leave this body and go out, you cannot do that. You have to walk with the body. You are completely conditioned, limited by the body. So God is not limited like that. His body is also unlimited. Although it appears limited, but it is unlimited. That's what Krishna showed in his Leela of Damodar. This month now which is going on, Kartik, is also called Damodar month. Because this is the month in which Krishna performed this Leela, this pastime that he was bound by Mother Yashoda by a rope. Dam means rope and Udar means belly. So he was bound around the belly with the rope. So he became famous as Damodar. Yet he showed that he was all pervading, because first she was not able to bind him with so many ropes. All the ropes will fall short because he is unlimited. How he can be bound? And then out of his grace he became bound. So it is by his grace then one gets this knowledge which is described, that Vainodayini Vimukta Sangha. And when one gets that knowledge, then one becomes free. Then one starts seeing the light. Then all this starts making sense. Then actually one starts seeing how people are just walking like zombies. Completely bewildered, confused, they don't know anything what is going on. Big people also. Then you see everything like a play. So that happens by the grace of the Lord. And then one conquers all this Satsapatma, the 6 enemies which are described here. So Vainodayana Satsapatma. So we are always living with our 6 enemies, not 1 or 2, 6 of them. So if you are all surrounded by 6 enemies, how can you feel happy? What is the scope? So then he describes what are the enemies. Nayavadetan manayatmalingam sansaratapavanam janasya yachhoka mohamaya amaya ragalobha veranam brahmanapam vidate. So mind, as long as we have this mind, and mind is the upadhi, the conditioning, and as long as one does not understand that mind is actually the field of suffering, Yavadaitan mane atmalingam samsara tapa avapanam janasya, that all the problems are coming because of the mind. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Atmaivi Atmano Bandhu Atmaiv Ripura Atmana. That mind is our enemy and mind is our friend. If our mind is under our control, he is our friend. If he is not under our control, he is our enemy. So obviously mind is not under our control. That is everybody's experience. So then he is our enemy, and is compared to a field in which misery sprouts. So sansara tapa avapana, various types of miseries are taking birth in the mind. So as long as we don't recognize this field of misery, the mind, then we keep on suffering and we keep on increasing our grief, our delusion, our sickness, our attachment, our greed, and our possessive nature. So these are the outcomes of the enemies, and then we suffer. Maya vidhurnam cha samyaktaya katham gyatavyam iti chet. So how do we know that one has become free from Maya? He says, Yavad Vishyanuraktam manas tavan Maya vidhurnam atma tattvam jnanam cha nasya aditya. So as long as mind is attached in the Vishaya, objects of the senses, then there is no question of getting free from Maya. Because that's where the Maya is sitting. Maya is sitting in the mind. Indriyani manobuddhir asya adhisthana uchyate. So the senses, mind and intelligence, they are the sitting places of Maya. And etayad vimohityesha. And by this, the living being is bewildered. So as long as this is there, then there is no tattva gyan, there is no real knowledge. And one suffers. Atmano lingam upadhi bhutam manah yavan mamatam vidhatte tavad atma tattvam navedi. So as long as this mind is creating our attachments to material objects, then we are bound, and these are the various types of bondage: grief and delusion and disease. We suffer physical, mental, and raga, material likings, things we like, and lobha, when there is too much liking for something, and we have greed, and vaira, and then we have our enemies or dislikes. So these are the things which keep us bound. So this mind keeps on creating this. This is what mind is creating to us. So first we have attachment, and then we have the outcome is this, that we get grief, then we have to find a solution for that, and we get attached to all these things, we fall into the cycle of suffering. And there is always a hope that one day I will enjoy. Of course, we all live on this one hope, that one day I will be happy. And by this problem will be solved. And all the time we have some one or two problems, or maybe more, hanging around us. And when this is done, then I will be happy. And when that is over, then already another one is knocking on the door. He says, what about you? Can you let me in? And we say, yes, please come in. I was just waiting for you. So then you have another one. So mind keeps you busy, and in the meantime it creates confusion, delusion, illusion, attachments, enemies, create your own enemies, greed. So all types of things. So then there is no relief from this. And we become attached to everything. We also become attached to grief. Right? And if all your problems are solved, then you will suffer that I have nothing to solve. Suppose all your desires are fulfilled immediately now in 1 second. What will you do? That will be another boring situation.
Babaji, some people look for pain. I mean, may not be conscious, but they look for pain so that they can have some enjoyment, or to feel that they're living for something.
Because there is no gain without pain. So they heard this saying, so they thought, if you want gain, let's look for pain. They are wise. They're going to the cause. Because if there is no gain without pain, which means that pain is the cause of the gain. So instead of looking for gain, I should look for pain. The gain will come. Right? So we'll stop here. Then there is one more verse in this chapter. In that next chapter, he will give a practical solution, what can be done actually. See the theory that you have to get rid of this, you have to have knowledge. But how to get that knowledge? What do I have to do? So in the last verse, he will give the solution. Let us see what can be done about it. Any question?
Babaji, do you think that, I mean, I haven't really thought this out that clearly, but do you think that most jiva souls are just feeling like, ultimately God is in charge of everything, and, maybe I can work it out so I can have pretty much everything I want or close to it, and that there's this kind of thing that's going on that eventually God will fix it and I'll get what I need or what I want.
Yeah, everybody lives in hope.
Hope that it's always going to be
Whether
good.
God or you or somebody, the hope is there and it will be solved sooner or later. If we don't have hope, then we commit suicide. We become completely hopeless. Or take to drugs, forget it. Or go in depression.
So there has to be some hope.
Yeah. Even if you are a Bob Hope. Is he alive or is dead now?
I don't know. He's ageless because he's a legend, comedy-wise. But I don't know if he's alive or dead. If he's dead, then he died.
I think he's died. Even he lost hope.
In this context, is there any difference made between Gyan and Vigyan? Because if you hear just the knowledge is enough, if you understand that we don't
But
get
Jnana is also knowledge, so sometimes the same word is used. But experience is also knowledge. Just to make it different, use the word theoretical knowledge and
It
experience.
seems that this is the essential point, because even as a new bhakta one gets this knowledge, but one is far from being above it.
So therefore one has to experience it. So he will give the process now how to experience. But before you experience, you understand theoretically, so that you can work to experience and then know whether I am experiencing the right thing. So that's why it's important. And then hearing this itself is purifying. Because this is not material knowledge. This is transcendental. This itself is internal energy of Lord. this knowledge. So it also works. You go on hearing, this will also give realization. As Arjuna said that Nashto moho smriti lambha prasadam. And he said, Kachit echa truya partha. And have you heard what I have said? And he said, yes. Now my ignorance is gone. So hearing is also a process of realizing. See the first part. In the Upanishad say, Atma vare shrotavya mantavya nivasitavya matreya. So drashtavya shrotavya. So first is shrotavya, to hear. Hearing is very, very important. Because without hearing you will never know it. And if you don't know, there is no question of any desire to do anything about it. So by hearing, you understand, and then a desire will come inside. So that itself is a grace, that desire, if it is coming within. That is the mercy of God.